It was past midnight when a brick shattered my living room window, the crash yanking me from sleep. Tied to it was a note, scrawled in venom. Saw get out. Sick kids don't belong here. Saw my hands trembled as I clutched the brick, my heart pounding not just from the noise but from the truth behind those words. They weren't random. They were aimed at my daughter, Sophie, whose feeding tube keeps her alive. I'm Dr. James Carter, Chief Pediatric Surgeon at Metro Hospital, where I save kids every day. But that night, I couldn't protect my own. Sophie's condition means her body can't process food like yours or mine. That tube, a lifeline snaking in her small frame, is what keeps her breathing, smiling, dreaming. She's only 9, but she spent more time in hospitals than most adults. I glanced upstairs, praying the noise hadn't woken her. Dad, her voice called, soft but sharp. There she stood, pajamas loose on her fragile body, the feeding tube, VY Cybele against her pale cheek. What was that? Just the wind, sweetheart. I lied, hiding the brick behind my back. Go back to sleep. But Sophie's too sharp for that. It's that lady again, isn't it? Mrs. Harper. She hates me because I'm sick. My chest tightened. I climbed the stairs and pulled her into a hug. Her weight, so light it scared me. It's not you, I whispered. Some people just fear what they don't understand. She looked up, her eyes too wise for her years. You're a doctor, Dad. Can't you make her understand? If only it were that simple. The trouble started 3 months ago when we moved into this quiet suburban neighborhood, chosen for its proximity to the hospital and a school equipped for kids like Sophie. I never imagined our neighbor, Abigail Harper, the HOA president with her flawless smile and iron grip on the neighborhood, would make our lives hell. On day 1, as the medical supply truck unloaded Sophie's equipment, Abigail stormed over. No commercial deliveries allowed, she snapped, her voice dripping with disdain. These are medical supplies for my daughter, I explained calmly. Her face twisted, like she'd smelled something foul. Keep that hospital junk hidden. It drags down property values. From then on, Abigail was relentless. The wheelchair ramp I built for Sophie? Unapproved, fined. The nurse's car, parked out front? Can't stay past 4 hours, fined. The tinted film on Sophie's windows to shield her from sunlight? Wrong shade, fined. Each time, her tone grew sharper, her fake smile thinner. 2 weeks back, I threw Sophie a small birthday party in our backyard. 6 kids from her hospital support group, eating cake and laughing. Abigail called the cops, claiming we were running an illegal medical facility. When the officers saw it was just kids with balloons, they apologized and left. But Sophie's tears stained her face as her special day crumbled. That brick through my window was the last straw. I'm a surgeon. I fix problems under pressure. This one was no different. I sent Sophie to stay with my sister, then installed security cameras around the house. I called an emergency HOA meeting, deliberately VY-ing Abigail out. To my shock, the other board members were clueless about her crusade. Dr. Carter, we didn't know, said Mrs. Chun, a kind woman whose son I treated. Abigail said your changes were cosmetic, not medical. I showed them photos of Sophie, her medical records, and the brick with its hateful note. The room went silent. I'm not just a neighbor, I said. I'm the doctor who saved your kids. All I want is for Sophie to be safe. The board voted unanimously to approve our accommodations. Abigail was furious but powerless. I thought it was over. I was dead wrong. 3 days later, Sophie was rushed to the ER, vomiting blood, her body racked with pain. As a doctor, I knew instantly something had poisoned her system. Tests showed chemical burns in her stomach and throat drain cleaner, of all things, in her feeding tube formula. While doctors fought to stabilize her, I checked the security footage. There it was, Abigail using her HOA master key to slip into our house while we were at Sophie's therapy. The camera caught her opening the fridge, pouring something from a small VY-Al into Sophie's formula. If Sophie had taken a full feeding instead of a sip, she'd be gone. I handed the footage to the police. That night, they arrested Abigail mid-HOA meeting, her face pale as they cuffed her in front of the neighbors she'd ruled like a queen. What followed was agony. Sophie needed 3 surgeries to repair the damage to her stomach and throat. Her feeding tube, once a tool for strength, became her only way to serve VYVE. At Abigail's trial, we learned she'd driven out 3 other families with medical needs before us, but none had been attacked like Sophie. Her defense? She was protecting property values. The judge wasn't VYing it. A child's life outweighs any house, he said, sentencing her to 15 years for attempted murder and breaking and entering. As Sophie recovered, something unexpected happened. The neighbors I thought despised us rallied. When we brought Sophie home, our driveway was packed with people holding signs. So welcome home, Sophie. We stand with the Carters. Saw Mrs. Chun stepped forward. While you were gone, we voted. The bank seized Abigail's house after her arrest. We pulled money to buy it. We're turning it into a support center for families with sick kids with your help, Dr. Carter, if you're willing. Tears stung my eyes as Sophie, still weak, shuffled from the car with her walker. Does this mean we can stay? She asked. An older man knelt beside her. My granddaughter's alive because of your dad. This neighborhood doesn't just want you. We need you. Over the next year, Sophie grew stronger. The neighborhood changed, too. Sophie's Haven, the support center in Abigail's old house, opened its doors, helping over 30 families with medical challenges. I started monthly talks to teach neighbors about conditions like Sophie's, replacing fear with understanding. The brick that shattered our window now sits in a glass case at the center, a reminder of how hate can spark healing. Sophie's 10th birthday was different. 20 kids came, some with medical to VYCS, others just friends who saw her, not her illness. I watched her blow out her candles, her feeding tube adorned with stickers, surrounded by kids who loved her. What did you wish for? I asked, tucking her in that night. She grinned. Can't tell you, Dad, but I don't need wishes. We're home. 2 years later, Sophie's thriving. She still needs her tube, but she's taller, stronger, defying every prognosis. Last month, a letter arrived from Abigail's prison. I hesitated, but Sophie insisted I read it. I can't ask forgiveness, Abigail wrote, but I think of Sophie daily. I read to sick kids at the hospital here. It doesn't undo my crime, but maybe it adds some good. Sophie, fiddling with her tube as she pondered, said, right back. Tell her I forgive her not because she deserves it, but because hate's too heavy to carry. Yesterday, Sophie started 5th grade, her medical backpack decked out with patches from kids at Sophie's Haven. The bus driver high-fived her. Got your superpowers, Sophie? He asked, nodding at her feeding pump. Always, she laughed. Mrs. Chun, standing beside me, smiled. Abigail was right about one thing: medical equipment does affect property values. I blinked, confused. She grinned. 3 houses sold last month, above asking price. Buyers want to live in a neighborhood that fights for its own. Justice sneaks up sometimes. So does healing. Sophie taught me forgiveness isn't about deserve, it's about making room for better things. Like watching a girl who once dodged a brick now ride a school bus with a neighborhood cheering her on. Homes aren't just walls and roofs. They're built on love, acceptance, and the kind of strength no HOA rule can break. What do you think? Did Abigail deserve her 15 years, or was Sophie's forgiveness too generous? Should neighbors have a say in medical needs? Or is that crossing a line? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, and subscribe for more stories that'll make you think twice about the people next door.